It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
All right, good morning everyone, and thanks for watching. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. This is Waking Up with Wesley on a Tuesday morning. So this is another day with a continuation of our summer-like heat and daily rain chances. Look, if these raindrops aren't anything else, at least they are reliable. Many of us don't really need much more rain. Places like Gulfport are running a rain surplus for the month as well as for the year. But that is what we have on tap for now. Maybe some change by the weekend. We'll get to the forecast. Let's take a look at today. The WLOX weather app forecast showing that potential for more of those showers and storms developing. Today's rain chance is similar to yesterday. It's about 60%. And can't rule out maybe some strong storms in a few spots. I know we've already seen some of those thunderstorms in parts of Jackson County this morning. And as of the current moment in time, looks like there might be a few of those thunderstorms near coastal Hancock County based on what we are seeing on the first alert radar. So if you are heading out and about today, keep an eye on the weather. Have our first alert weather app handy. It's got a great radar tool in there so you can see where the rain is relative to your South Mississippi location. And of course, it's got this hour-by-hour forecast that our weather team periodically updates to give you the latest information on what to expect in our local area. So we've had some interesting weather caught on cam that I want to share with you. First of all, we remind you of the waterspout that was on Father's Day Sunday, and we had viewers send us so many pictures in South Mississippi from that. We shared this on yesterday's edition of Waking Up with Wesley. This was a video from Susan in Gulfport on Sunday showing that waterspout reaching the sky there and then touching down onto the surface of the Mississippi Sound. And when Susan panned the camera up, you can see that funnel connecting all the way up to the cloud. And then right there, this is the moment the waterspout moved from water to land. At that very moment in time, you stop calling it a waterspout and start calling it a tornado. Fortunately, I didn't hear of too many reports of injuries or damage from that. Well, let's switch it up and show you a tornado. This is from yesterday in Nebraska. Our sister station, KNOP, in the North Platte area, showed this video yesterday of that powerful tornado in that area. And just, it was breathtaking and jaw-dropping to see this classic textbook image of a tornado. And there have been a lot of pictures and videos shared over the last 24 hours of that, that some have gone viral just because of how impressive that particular twister looked. You can just see that impressive, very well-defined funnel right there, stretching all the way from the cloud down to the ground. I am personally unfamiliar with any of the reporting in regards to damage, injuries, fatalities with this particular twister. But just from a meteorological standpoint, it is just quite the spectacle to look at. I'm sure if you went to our sister station, KNOP's website, they would have all the latest information in regards to any potential damage, injuries, or fatalities in the North Platte region of Nebraska. These were a few more pictures that were shared from KNOP in the North Platte, Nebraska area. Again, you can basically picture Dorothy heading to Oz with this classic image here. If I switch it up and show you the full screen, just look at that. It's breathtaking. Not only do you have the condensation funnel so well defined and solid right there, but then the condensation funnel begins to thin out here at the bottom. And a lot of people get confused. You look at this at first glance, you're like, oh, the tornado's not touching all the way down to the ground. Oh, yes, it is. The winds down there at the base of the twister connecting to the ground, and you can see they are stirring up dirt and dust. This twister at this moment in time taking place, in the middle of an open field, so there's no debris to be kicked up not a ton of it at least, but if there were more debris kicked up, you would see a much larger debris cloud right there where that touchdown area is taking place. There were actually a couple more images from that twister that you can see on their website. So again, be sure to head to our sister station's Facebook or website to see more information on that. We can take a look at some of the reporting from the National Weather Service. This might be outdated by this point in time, but that's a look at the map for North Platte, Nebraska. And as we take a look at that, that's that symbol there indicating where that twister was reported. And if I click on that, we can see some of the information. So yeah, it's not a whole lot of detail. Multiple reports over phone and social media of tornado on the ground. Not a lot of detail with that one. You know, what's interesting is when you take a look at that, there was a report of a tornado near North Platte, a report of a funnel cloud in the southwest part of Nebraska. And if we zoom the map out, you can see even more reports of tornadoes over the last 24 hours to the north of that in portions of Minnesota. It almost is looking like an outbreak. There were multiple twisters in Minnesota over the last 24 hours, some of them taking place to the west of Minneapolis, not too far, somewhere between Fargo and Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can see these were areas where there were multiple reports of tornadoes in the northern half of the state of Minnesota. And the big picture today on the weather map, the weather's always connected, and the same disturbance that brought thunderstorms to portions of the plains is still sitting there today and is rolling around a ridge of high pressure. You kind of have in the weather pattern this big ridge of high pressure here, and so you have these disturbances rolling counterclockwise around that. They roll down on the right side of that ridge before they actually come right back up. They're steered up because there's another high pressure ridge sitting here near the Florida coast. So there's high pressure west of us, high pressure east of us, and where we are in Mississippi on the map, right in between those high pressures, there's just a weakness in the high pressure. And that's what makes it easy for rain to form over parts of Mississippi today. I was talking about that all morning on Good Morning Mississippi. The Storm Prediction Center has put out this map where they think severe weather is going to take place on Tuesday and Tuesday night. And now that it's after 8 a.m., they've given us a new update to the information, which might look different from when we checked in on it during GMM. You can see a level 4 risk is in place for areas in Nebraska and Kansas, in Kansas today. Level 4 risk, level 3 across pretty much all of Kansas and stretching into western Missouri. And then notice this level 1 here that has just popped up with the new update. It looks like that is to the north generally of our 6 southernmost counties, but if we get a closer look, we can see indeed it is just to the north of our 6 southernmost counties. So fortunately, our 6 southernmost counties may be able to be spared from the majority of strong to severe storms today, but maybe that really gets going once you go to the north of Lucedale, north of Wiggins, closer to the Pine Belt, and other areas closer to Jackson and Meridian, Mississippi. That could be where you really start to see that risk of stronger to severe storms firing up a bit more. Now, even though the Mississippi coast missed out on the severe threat, we are included in the flooding risk. So that does come all the way down to the coast. There's the risk of flooding today. It's not a very high risk, but it's not zero. So just know that if we get some of these heavy downpours at times, they can produce rain that's heavy enough to cause flooding. Quick check on the current conditions during the 8 o'clock hour. We got a few clouds hanging out with us this morning, and that's always a good thing getting closer to the summer season to have morning clouds, because that limits how quickly things can heat up. So we're kind of staving off some of the heat. That being said, there's competing features. Okay, the clouds are keeping the heating away from the sunshine, the rising, angle of that high angle sun. But we've got wind from the south and southwest today, and that's always usually a hotter wind this time of year for our part of the country in South Mississippi. Anytime we get that wind from the southwest, sometimes temperatures can heat quickly and they kind of overperform a little bit. We could do a very quick check on first alert radar, seeing a few thunderstorms booming right as we near the end of the 8 o'clock hour, approaching the top of the 9 o'clock hour. And you can see Hancock County on I-10. Once you go to the west of Diamond Head, got some thunderstorms this morning. Already a lot of lightning with that. And over into Jackson County, you can also see when you're on I-10 toward Alabama. So basically, if you're trying to drive out of state on I-10 at this moment in time, you're going to be going through downpours because we're kind of flanked near the Alabama line and near the Louisiana line by thunderstorms very close to Interstate 10. So the forecast here as we go through the remainder of your Tuesday looks like this, where we'll see these rain chances relatively lower in the morning, around 40%, but they increase as we head to the rest of the day. So later this morning, already seeing an increase, and then during the PM hours, probably going to see that peak of rain chance, perhaps around or just above 60%. This continues during Tuesday PM, and then as we close in on dinner time, close in on that sunset time frame, perhaps seeing a decrease in the rain activity by that point in time. So you can actually see this pattern when you look at the water vapor channel on satellite here. You can see, first of all, the brown area of dry air over Mexico and Texas, another brown area of dry air over Bahamas. Those are our two high pressures, the dry high pressures that are sitting there. And you can even see how some of this flow is responding, how over here in the western part of the country, let me see if I can draw this. You kind of have the flow coming down like that, right? Kind of coming down like that. And then it actually comes right back up as we go to the second high pressure ridge. And then if you kind of look at the jet level flow, that comes down here with our disturbance and it comes back up. So you have high, but then low, but then high. And where there's highs, it's generally drier, generally hotter. And where there's a low, generally seeing better rain chance. High pressure presses down on the air, helping to limit that vertical growth of those rain clouds. So that's why when you check the first alert radar this morning, you can see where there are fewer showers. There's fewer showers near that high that's sitting near Texas and Mexico, right? There's also fewer showers where that other high is sitting near the Bahamas and Florida. But then right between them, here we are where there's that kind of weakness in the high, as well as an upper disturbance nearby. And that's why you're seeing all of these rain showers developing in this region right here as we are still, just very close to that kind of weakness in the high pressure ridge. But here's the thing. We might be able to unlock a change in the weather pattern as we go to the weekend. We are expecting that high pressure to really build and strengthen across the deep south. So take a look at Saturday's upper level chart and you can see high pressure all across the southeast region. And if that's the case, generally speaking, this could get us to a decrease in the rain chance as well as maybe an increase in temperature. Now it's summer on the Mississippi coast. We can't bring the chance of rain down to 0% unless some really, really crazy stuff's going on. But at least we can bring the rain chance down a little bit from where it is now. Today, Tuesday, that chance of rain around 60%, maybe a little bit higher in a few places. But by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, seeing that somewhat decrease. Yes, it will still rain somewhere in South Mississippi on Saturday, but maybe fewer people see rain. And maybe the rain amount that occurs will be lower than whatever we have today. That's the thinking as we go into the upcoming weekend, which is, by the way, the official start to summer. Summer officially begins on Friday, and so this coming weekend will be the first official weekend of summer. And you're looking at the potential for, hotter temperatures, as well as the potential for somewhat lower rain chance. We can even take a look really quickly, last thing before we go, at the 10-day forecast for both areas, and you'll notice that the temperatures on the coast could be around 90. Some of our temperatures inland in that Friday, Saturday, Sunday time frame will be in the low to mid 90s. So some hot stuff for you, with fingers crossed, maybe a little bit of a decrease in the rain chance heading into the first official weekend of summer 2025. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. See ya.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.